Hello, everyone, and happy Monday. Welcome back to episode 15 of the new network.
Oh
I
my.
am Dakota.
I'm Val, and we have our very special guest today, Miss.
Taylor.
There she
Taylor
is.
Panton. Yeah,
Hi.
so Taylor is my younger sister, and she is currently navigating the world of online schooling right now. And she is in what grade, Taylor?
7.
Ooh,
Seventh grade.
lucky number seven.
Um, yeah, so we thought we'd have her on today because there's been a lot of talk about how online learning is affecting our youth and the kind of challenges they go through. So we wanted to talk to one of our brightest young youth and see how it is affecting her and what she thinks of it. Are you ready to talk today, Taylor?
I am.
Are you ready to spill the tea?
I am.
You are. So you have been in online learning since the beginning of the pandemic, is that correct?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah,
so
so you
since
haven't.
March of last year.
September this year.
Oh, yes, because March, yes, they just yes, okay.
And you never went back. You haven't been in actual classroom since years ago, eh?
Yes.
Do you miss the class?
And yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah? Like, what do you miss about it? Because you have like a teacher and classmates virtually, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't like the lack of interaction with people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
when
get
was
to
the last
talk to
time?
people.
When was the last time you like actually saw your friends and like got to be around them?
November. I
Wow.
seen one of my friends.
And do you still keep in touch with them? Do you find it hard to keep in touch with them?
Um, yeah, because some of them don't have like social media and stuff,
Yes.
Yeah,
and
because a
others
lot of your
do.
friends, yeah, they're younger. They don't have access to the online stuff and whatnot. Have you been able to make new friends in online learning, or is it harder to make friends when you're not actually in front of them?
I find that it's harder, but I have been able to make friends. I think I've made like 2 in my new class.
That's good. What's the format kind of like? Is it's online and you have to be on camera? Is that correct?
Well, my class, we can have our camera on or off. I don't turn it on ever. But we just
Fair.
have to be in the Google Meet and for like it's in 1 hour increments. So
Mhm.
like we'll be in the Zoom for 1 hour and then we'll do half an hour like independent work.
Hmm.
So it's
That's
still your day's still kind of scheduled out then. You can't just sleep in and do nothing
Yeah.
as much as you want to, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Do you find that it like makes a difference now? Like, say if you're going to like the grocery store, if you're going out in public, like, do you feel different about like those social interactions versus when you were in like a school setting? Like, I know I do, and I'm just like working from home. I get like a little bit more fired up about the grocery store, and it's not like the COVID germs or anything. I'm just like, what if I run into someone that I know and I have to talk to them?
I get excited to go to the stores
Yeah,
because I don't get to see people.
good. That's good that it's excitement and it's like not coming from a place of fear. I think that's important.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like what you said, Val, because even I like we see people and we're on Zoom meetings all the time and we still get to interact with people. But the thought of like seeing someone in person or like the thought of going to like a group, like a networking event or something, it gives me a little anxiety because I'm like, how do you talk to people again?
Yeah, yeah, that is exactly it. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, like what kind of questions do I ask? Even like I've met with some really amazing clients over Zoom or phone calls, and I'm going to see a few of them like for the first time in person next week. And I'm like, oh my gosh, how do you behave in someone's house?
Exactly. Taylor, in online learning, do you get the chance to like talk to your classmates or is it more just kind of listening and watching a presentation?
It's more of just listening to the teacher. We don't really get to talk to each other. We can do it sometimes at the beginning of class, but not everyone joins right away.
Do you think that this, like, that in September, if the option is there to go back to school, will you go back for like grade 8 in class learning?
Yeah, I really want to go back for grade 8.
Hmm. Did you guys ever hear those theories flying around about how like this was it's a theory again, but like this is like the plan for the future is to just do like have teachers remote and virtual schooling. Does anyone any thoughts on that? Or did you guys hear about that?
I didn't.
I have heard like there's always conspiracy theories going around,
Yeah.
all these things. Like, yeah, exactly. Like it's just a theory. I think that there might be some validity to it, only because I think our society as a whole is moving towards more online and less in person.
Yes.
Which is it's good in a way because I like staying home and I like being able to interact with people, but I also like miss those in-person interactions, and I miss being able to just go out and see people and touch people.
Oh, no, just kidding. Yeah, I totally agree. Like I miss hugging, and I miss like not necessarily handshaking, but I do miss a good hug. And touching on that, like how you said business is going virtual, and you and I have both experienced that in our industry. Taylor and like your generation will be so well versed in like adaptability, because I'll say like there's older financial advisors that when we went tech, like they just didn't want to learn it, but you guys will be like, well, yeah, like of course change happens, like technology improves, like you guys will be so, I feel like, adaptable and also advanced in your skills, because you'll be like, yeah, I know Teams and Google and how to send an email with a video attachment. Like you'll be that much more prepared for the world that is kind of like growing, creating, changing.
Yeah, I think it's so strange how, like you said, well versed they're going to be with online everything, because, like I said, our society as a whole, I think, is moving towards a very online format.
Yes.
So in a way, it's good because Taylor's age and Taylor herself is going to be able to just do anything she wants on the computer and figure it all out. Like when I was your age, I couldn't.
Oh my gosh.
Do anything.
I was still doing those typing programs where they, like in school, like that was my excitement, I'm sure, in grade 7 was the typing programs.
Right. And now you're expected to log on by yourself and figure that all out basically by yourself, right, Taylor?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you're basically in the house alone all day getting your stuff done. Like you don't have that tech support, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that is the other side of it too, is the independence that you are given. And you could totally abuse it and be like, I'm not going to do my work, I'm going to sleep in. But you, like, I think it's cool, like, you'll, like, Dakota going self-employed and myself going self-employed, like, you almost have to parent yourself. And that's likely what you have to do too, is be like, no, I need to go and do my homework. Like, keep yourself accountable.
Do you find it harder to stay motivated with online school compared to when you actually had to go to school?
Yeah. It just doesn't feel like there's someone stopping me from it feels optional.
Now, what about with stuff like deadlines? Like I know I would procrastinate, and I still do. Like I'm taking courses and I still procrastinate on doing them, but I feel like there's a lot less pressure until obviously the last minute to hand it in, because people, like I can remember being in the classroom and kids would be like, oh, I'm handing that in 5 days early, and it was like, oh crap, like maybe I should be doing that. But I feel less like, or how do you feel about it? Like less pressure with deadlines? Like, is it kind of the same?
Our teacher, like my teacher, she doesn't really care about deadlines. Huh. Yeah, she will extend them, and then like a week later, she'll be like, guys, you have to hand this in like next week.
Nice. It's serious. Do you like your teacher? Like, do you find that you get a similar connection to your like educator, or
I haven't had a consistent teacher in like a month.
What?
Yeah, my teacher, she left for a week and we had a supply teacher, and then she had to go, and now we have a more permanent supply teacher.
Oh my God.
I know people had issues with that when, it was in person. Like people hated switching teachers because, you build the relationship with that teacher, you learn their teaching style and stuff. So have you found it difficult to bounce back between teachers?
Yeah, because like their teaching style is so different from all three. Like our first one, she was really like interactive, and our second one, we didn't have her for that long. She was just like a normal supply teacher that like you would mess around with. And this one, like she will like talk to us a lot more than the other ones. Like she actually like interacts and stuff.
And does that help you? Do you like being able to interact?
In a way, Yeah, sometimes, but other times I just want to like get my work done and go.
Fair.
But like that would be tough though, to have so many different styles of teaching and personalities, and they're all they're trying to follow a lesson plan, but it's all going to come across differently. Like that is tough to kind of keep up with.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I've seen your report cards and you are absolutely killing the online learning. So how do you keep yourself a quick little shout out to you for being so smart. How do you keep yourself motivated? How do you keep yourself doing it?
Yes.
I don't know. I just kind of like tell myself this needs to be done, and if it's not, you're gonna fail, I guess, but you can't really fail my grade. You just keep going.
Do you get dressed in the morning? Do you have how do you have yourself set up for like success? I'll say like you're in your room with your laptop, but like do you take lunch break in the kitchen or go outside with the dog?
Sometimes I get dressed. Most of the time I'm just in like sweatpants.
Mm-hmm.
But today I'm actually dressed, which is surprising.
Happy Monday.
But like I have my lunch in the dining room like always, and then I take the dog out and then I just come back.
So what stops you from just not doing school? Like what is when you think, should I go to school or should I just play Xbox or should I just, hang out? Like what keeps you going back and what keeps you wanting to be successful?
Mom, she'll yell at me.
It's my mom.
But I know you have plans to, you have a bunch of career ideas and a bunch of career plans. So what keeps you striving for those?
I'm not sure. I think just like knowing that one day I'll get to do that, I guess. And if I just keep doing this, I'll get there eventually.
Right. What's your career path right now? What's the dream job right now?
Surgeon.
Surgeon? What do you want to operate on? Like humans, obviously, but what part of the body?
I'm not sure. I think like trauma, because I watched a lot of Grey's Anatomy.
That's exciting. Ooh.
Look at you go. Going back to the teachers and whatnot, do you find it's hard for your teachers to keep the class? I know your age, not you, because you are an angel, but people your age can get a little rowdy. And I remember when I was in grade 7, grade 8, everyone was, the teacher struggled to keep us all calm and working and down. So what do you find online learning is like in that sense?
Well, the kids like unmute and like spam the chat with random stuff, and the teacher like she can't really control us. Like she can mute us, but we can just write unmute and talk in the chat all we want. Because this one hasn't figured out how to ban the chat, like so that we can't talk in it. Like people like scream in their mics and turn on their cameras and do weird stuff.
And is that like a regular occurrence?
Yeah, every day.
Every single day.
That
And is there any sort of like punishment or anything for people who are doing that, or it's just kind of like ignore it and move on?
She can kick us out of the meet, but like right when the other one starts, we can get right back in. And
yeah, and I mean like she could email your teacher or your parents, but depending on the parents, like it might just be like, okay.
Yeah, exactly. It's definitely an interesting approach. What would you say is the biggest difference, other than the obvious, staying home or going to school? What's the biggest difference between in-person learning and online learning for you?
I think that honestly the amount of work. I haven't been getting as much work, like homework and stuff at home than at real school, but that also depends on like the teacher.
Right. So do you feel like you're still learning though, however, or do you feel like this is kind of just a waste?
Not really.
No?
I don't think that I'm learning a lot because it's mostly just like review, especially because of the new teachers. Like they don't know what we're learning.
With subjects like I feel like science and like where you would do like an experiment or more hands-on topics, like do you like I know I needed to learn or like be like I need to see it or like see it explained a different way. Like do you find it harder to grasp those topics or not so much because there's maybe just not as much content that has that in it?
With science, our teachers figured out how to like do experiments and stuff. Like we made rock candy.
Ooh.
So for the kids that couldn't do it, the teacher would just do it with her camera on, and
Oh,
like the people
cool.
that could do it would.
Mhm.
But like for math and stuff, they can just like project their screen and show us what's happening. But like people don't pay attention
Mhm. But you do.
Interesting.
sometimes.
I've seen a lot of posts on social media and the internet and articles and stuff about parents complaining that, they're basically teaching their kid and the teacher is just kind of there. Do you find that your mother, our mother, or your father has more responsibility or has more to do to keep you learning and to keep you motivated? Or do you feel like you kind of do it yourself with the teacher's help?
They just work all day, and I don't really tell them what I'm doing in school.
Fair.
So, not really.
I definitely think that's like an age and like you're mature and you're responsible. Like you take care of your own stuff. Where like with Grant, he's 7, and it was like you sat there with him. The teacher was as great as she could be, but like you can only do so much when a kid can like turn their camera off or write in the chat, and that was the same problem. They were just blowing that chat up. And
Yeah, I can't imagine keeping like 37-year-olds entertained or like
no.
focused on camera.
No, and it's so hard, and they have questions, and everyone learns different, right? So sometimes it's easier like learning, place value to show them with blocks, but when it's just you have to get creative, right?
Right. Now I want to talk about COVID a little bit with you, Taylor. So obviously you have a very good grasp of COVID and kind of what's going on in the world. It's kind of a weird thing to grow up during.
Yeah.
We definitely did not have anything like this. So if you, obviously, I know that our parents let you decide whether or not you could go to school or you could stay online. Why did you choose to stay online?
I thought that it would be more fun, but I was very wrong.
At least you're honest.
I also didn't want to wake up early every day and walk to school.
And how far do you live from the school, Taylor?
Like 2 feet.
You can see the school from your bedroom window, right?
I love it still. I love it. Yes.
So if you could go back and change your mind, would you have went to school or would you still stay home?
I think I would still stay home just because like I would be getting the social interaction, but I wouldn't be able to go near my friends.
Yeah.
It'd all be like 6 feet.
And
the mask.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it'd be hard to wear a mask all day and be so close, especially at your age, so close to your friends and not being able to actually get close to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be crazy. Do you like FaceTime your friends? Do you still talk to them over the internet or over text?
Yeah, we Snapchat.
Snapchat. I love Snapchat. That's good. But COVID wise, are you like afraid to go to school because of COVID, or are you more focused on the learning?
Well, in town, there's a lot of COVID. Well, there was, not as much right now. And it's all like through the school. Like all the little kids have had it and stuff. And my class would be that far from the little kids. And I would be like outside with them and stuff.
Right.
And also the learning.
And it would be hard to go because there's going to be hundreds of kids there. It's hard to trust all of those kids and all of those kids' parents, and trusting that they're keeping their kids safe. They're wearing masks when they go out, especially in your town where there is a big debate on whether or not masks are even effective or are even a thing.
There's a big separation. Mm-hmm.
So I think if I was you and I was still going through school at this point, I think I would be terrified to go to school. Val, what do you think?
I don't know. I think I would like I don't know. I feed off of other people's energies, so I would miss school, but I also like the idea of like kind of doing your own thing and working at your own pace to some degree. But in terms of fear of COVID, I don't know. I guess you are really like subjecting yourself to a school of like a pool of students. Like you're truly putting yourself into like I don't know, one of the, like, because kids, like, not you, Taylor, not your age, but like grade 3 and down, kids are gross. Like, hand washing is an option. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess, like, because I send Grant into it and I'm like, yeah, it's all good. But then I'm like, would I use that primary grade washroom? I don't know.
I also think it depends like on your family as well.
Yes.
And your families and your friends and like your circle and their, perspective on COVID. Okay, Taylor, one last question for you.
Yes.
Are you ready? This is a hard one.
I'm ready.
Do you swear and do you wear skinny jeans? No, I'm just kidding. Do you think that COVID and the lack of going to school has negatively affected your learning experience?
Yeah.
Yeah, you feel like you've learned less online?
Yeah.
And you wish that COVID never happened?
Yes.
I think we all do.
I feel like I could be learning the same amount, but I just feel like I'm forgetting it all. Because it's just like writing down in a Google Slides and not like actually
Yes.
like listening.
That's a good point.
That is a really good point. And I can't imagine, I know you're really good at keeping yourself motivated and doing it, but I can't imagine like me at that age because I don't motivate myself when I was a kid. So I feel like if I was there, I would have definitely not learned as much. But on that note, I think that teachers are doing the best that they can for the most part. I think that the school system is doing the best that they can. I know there's a lot of negativity going about it, but it's unprecedented. We're going through a pandemic, so there's not much that they can change. They gave everyone the option to send their kids to school or stay home. I think there's pros to both. I think there's cons to both. I don't think there's necessarily a right answer, but I think that everyone's kind of doing the best they can, and I hope that shortly we'll be able to go back to our normal.
Our new normal.
Our new normal with the new network. All right, Taylor, do you have any closing statements? Anything you want to say? Any funny stories you want to tell?
I remember one that happened today. Someone in my class had their camera on and another person unmuted and said, "Look at that face. It's the face of a psychopath."
Okay.
The virtual, I feel like, not bullying, but like
teasing maybe.
Teasing, yeah.
Yes.
Is there a lot of teasing and bullying going on? That's actually there's probably a lot less bullying going on in the school system right now because it's all online.
Yeah. There's not that much bullying, but like kids don't agree with each other.
Right.
There's a big debate in my class, Xbox or PlayStation. That's what everyone argues about.
The correct answer is
Xbox.
Xbox, there it is.
PlayStation, there it is.
Okay. The amount of times my collar has popped. Anyways, thank you so much for joining us today, Taylor. It was really great to get your insight on it. You did a fantastic job.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, no problem. Come back anytime.
Great. Have a fantastic week.
Bye.
Yep, and make sure you guys follow us on our social medias. I'm going to plug ourselves really quick. The New Net 2020, Instagram, TikTok, and everything else. But other than that, I hope you guys all have a great week, and we will see you again next week. Bye, friends.